Digestive system of cockroach. Cockroach digestive system include alimentary canal and associated glands. The digestive system of cockroach include alimentary canal and their associated glands. Then first of all, let's come to the pre-oral cavity of cockroach here. Pre-oral cavity is surrounded by mouth parts. Pre-oral cavity which is surrounded by mouth parts. It is present in front of the mouth. That's why we say it as pre-oral cavity. That hypopharynx divides it into two chambers. Let's see here the pre-oral cavity, which is a speciality of cockroach, where the mouth parts are going to be appendages here. That means in front of the mouth there is a cavity, that we say pre-oral cavity. The pre-oral cavity is divided into that anterior cibarium, a non-salivary chamber, and posterior salivarium, a salivary chamber, into which the hypopharynx is going to secrete the saliva. So pre-oral cavity include two chambers, a cibarium and salivarium. Salivarium is said to be salivary chamber. So we said cockroach digestive system include alimentary canal and associated glands. The pre-oral cavity surrounded by the mouth parts, it is present in front of the mouth. Hypopharynx divides it into two chambers, cibarium and salivarium. Anterior chamber is cibarium, it's a non-salivary chamber, and posterior is going to be salivarium, it's a salivary chamber. Then alimentary canal divided into three regions. Alimentary canal divides into three regions: foregut, midgut, hindgut. Foregut is also called stomodium. Midgut is also called mesenteron. Hindgut is said to be proctodium. Hindgut is also called proctodium. This is called regionalization. When we go for earthworm, we don't have these kind of three regions like foregut, midgut, and hindgut. These kind of regionalizations is not observed in the earthworm. That means cockroach is comparatively a little bit developed one, which include three regions: foregut, which is for intake of food materials; midgut, which is for digestion of food material; hindgut. Midgut is also for absorption of food, and hindgut elimination of the foodstuffs. That means there are three portions which are doing three different functions in the cockroach, which foregut, intake, and that do the grinding of food material and storage of food material; midgut, that go for digestion and as well as absorption; hindgut is for absorption of water and elimination of the waste materials out from the body. That we say regionalization. This kind of differentiation of the alimentary canal, we use it to say regionalization. Foregut or stomodium include pharynx, esophagus, crop, gizzard. Gizzard is also called proventriculus. Pharynx, esophagus, crop, gizzard or proventriculus include foregut. Midgut or mesenteron include ventriculus. Midgut or mesenteron include ventriculus. Ileum, colon, rectum or belongs to hindgut. Ileum, colon, rectum or belongs to hindgut. Pharynx, esophagus, crop, gizzard or proventriculus or belongs to foregut, and ventriculus belongs to midgut. Ileum, colon, rectum or belongs to hindgut. See here between the gizzard and the ventriculus there are structures called hepatic CK are present. Hepatic CK are present between the gizzard and ventriculus, which these hepatic CK are going to open into the ventriculus. Hepatic CK opens into the ventriculus. Similarly, between the ventriculus and ileum, that Malpighian tubules are present here. Malpighian tubules between the ventriculus and ileum. which these Malpighian tubules are going to open into the ileum. Malpighian tubules opens into the ileum. So this is the primary information about the alimentary canal. What we said that foregut, midgut, hindgut. Foregut is also called stomodium, and the midgut is our mesenteron. Hindgut or proctodium. Pharynx, esophagus, crop, gizzard. Gizzard or proventriculus are belongs to the foregut, and ventriculus belongs to the midgut, and ileum, colon, rectum are belongs to the hindgut or proctodium. Showing all this in the diagram. As we said, the foregut include pharynx, esophagus, and this is the crop. Crop opens into the gizzard. Pharynx, esophagus, crop, and gizzard are belongs to the foregut. The midgut or mesenteron include ventriculus. Ventriculus here, this is the ventriculus. And hindgut include ileum, colon, and rectum. These are the portions here. The pharynx, esophagus, crop, gizzard are belongs to foregut. Ventriculus, this is the portion we say ventriculus. Ventriculus belongs to the midgut or mesenteron, and then ileum, colon, rectum are belongs to the hindgut. Hindgut we also call them as proctodium. Let's see the regionalization of the cockroach, which include foregut, midgut, hindgut, and now I am showing here again in the diagram that pharynx, and esophagus, crop, proventriculus or gizzard, all these are belongs to the foregut, or foregut is also called stomodium, which include pharynx, esophagus, crop, proventriculus or gizzard. Then midgut or mesenteron. This is the midgut or mesenteron, which include only one portion, what we say usually ventriculus. This is the ventriculus, the portion of the midgut, which is also called mesenteron. And the third region, that is hindgut or proctodium, include these ileum, colon, as well as rectum, which opens out as anus. Ileum, colon, rectum are belongs to the hindgut. Just now need to see that each and every part of the alimentary canal, how they are going to be helpful for the digestion as well as the absorption process in cockroach. Now let's start from the beginning here. That mouth, the first of all mouth opens into the pharynx. Pharynx opens into the esophagus. Esophagus is a narrow tubular structure which makes the passage of food materials towards the crop from the pharynx. Then let's come to the crop. Crop is a thin-walled distensible sac. This is the crop. The crop is a thin-walled distensible sac. Serves as a reservoir for storing food. Outer surface covered by a network of trachea. Above on these we can see the network of trachea. That above on the crop, that a network of trachea are present here. No matter for digestion. Then the thin-walled distensible sac, crop, and serves as a reservoir for storing food. When food comes here, they get stored in this particular area. And proventriculus or gizzard, part of foregut itself again. As we said, foregut include pharynx, esophagus, crop, and gizzard. What is gizzard? Gizzard is a thick-walled muscular structure. Mostly that in the gizzard, circular muscles are well developed. If you see the transverse section of the gizzard, in the gizzard, the circular muscles are well developed. Efficient grinding operators. 6 powerful teeth are present here. The 6 powerful teeth efficient grinding apparatus or chitinous inner lining, backwardly directed bristles. And behind every teeth, backwardly directed bristles are present, and teeth for grinding, bristles for the filtration. That's why we say gizzard acts as a grinding mill as well as a sieve. Grinding mill and sieve. His proventriculus are gizzard, thick-walled muscular structure. Their circular muscles are much developed in the gizzard, as inner lining of the gizzard is going to be chitinous inner lining. We can see here that the circular muscles are well developed in this particular area, which makes the crushing of the food material. And 6 longitudinal ridges or denticular plates are present here in the gizzard. Then this is the crop, and this is going to be gizzard. In the gizzard, as we said, the 6 longitudinal ridges are denticular plates, as well as we can see the bristles, backwardly directed bristles. Means what's happening here, the food materials are going to be crushed in the gizzard, and after crushing, the fine particles only can enter into the ventriculus. Only fine particles are going to be entered into the ventriculus. That means gizzard acts as grinding mill as well as a sieve. In this certain location, the food materials are grinded over, and the fine particles, that means the grinded food particles in them, the fine particles are getting filtered out. This is the area which bristles are present, and filtered out into the ventricle. So this is all about the gizzard. Let me thick-walled muscular efficient grinding apparatus, 6 powerful teeth as chitinous inner lining, backwardly directed bristles. Behind every teeth for grinding, bristles for filtration or sieve. Then grinding mill and sieve. The function of the gizzard we use it to say because of these two issues, that is a act as grinding mill as well as a sieve. Now, this is all about foregut. Foregut, in the crop we said that is helpful for the storage of food material, and as gizzard for grinding mill as well as sieve. Now let's move to the ventriculus. Ventriculus. Ventriculus is a part of midgut. There is a speciality for the ventriculus that foregut and hindgut of cockroach is having the total inner lining of the alimentary canal is going to be chitinous. So why chitinous? Elementary canal of foregut and hindgut are chitinous inner lining. Why chitinous? We may know that the cockroach is omnivorous insect. That means it may eat any type of foodstuffs. Whatever the foodstuffs enters into the cockroach, that roughies of the foodstuffs may do the damage of that inner lining of alimentary canal. To prevent this kind of damage, that cockroach inner lining of foregut and hindgut is going to be chitinous. Now the question raises, what about midgut, mesenteron, which it includes ventriculus. Imagine if it is also is having a chitinous inner lining, then who do the digestion and who makes the absorption of the foodstuffs? Chitinous inner lining doesn't facilitate the digestion as well as absorption. That's why except the midgut, the remaining portion of the alimentary canal is going to be chitinous. Then what about protection for the midgut then? Protection of the midgut. So here these are all the protective measures of the midgut which we are showing in the diagram. As whenever the foodstuffs entered in the cockroach, first of all we said that enters into the gizzard. Gizzard acts as grinding mill as well as sieve. That and only fine particles only enters here through this because gizzard also acts as a filtration material. So after filtration, the food particles enters into the ventriculus through a valve called stomodial valve. There you can see the stomodial valve here. This is Next, protection mode for the ventriculus. First, gizzard acts as grinding mill, we said. Then after, filtration. Then after, the food particles, fine food particles only can come through the stomodial wall. Fine food particles only can come through the stomodial wall. So even whenever the foodstuffs enters into the ventriculus, immediately the glandular part of the ventriculus is going to secrete the liquid, the secretions immediately going to be solidified over, form a mesh-like network above the foodstuffs. That we say that peritropic membrane, the mesh-like foodstuffs, we say peritropic membrane. Here you can see that peritropic membrane in the blue color. The peritropic membrane, it's a mesh-like where foodstuffs are present inside, and it's mesh-like, that's why the enzymes can go inside. The enzymes are entering inside and crushing the food material. That's what I mean, the conversion of the complex organic foodstuffs into the simple digestive molecules. Let's take the peritropic membrane here. This is the peritropic membrane. In this, we see the larger food particles. As I said, that whenever the food materials after the gizzard enters into the ventriculus, immediately foodstuffs are surrounded by the secretions which are immediately solidified into peritropic membrane, whereas the enzymes can go inside. Enzymes are entering inside, and whatever the enzymes enter inside, that convert these complex organic molecules into simple diffusible organic molecule. Whenever the foodstuffs are digested, that they can come out through this peritropic membrane. Whatever the food materials get digested here, that they are coming out from this particular peritropic membrane. Those who cannot be digested, they just stay itself in the peritropic membrane. This is the story of peritropic membrane. And those smaller food particles which are digested here, they come out from the peritropic membrane. Then digested food materials here will come out and they get absorbed by the absorptive part of the ventriculus. Here, this is the digestion portion of digestion. We say glandular part or secretory part of ventriculus. Then in the absorptive portion, they get absorbed. After the completion of absorption, the foodstuffs which are not digested will enter into the next part. After the completion of digestion as well as absorption, the food materials are going to be undigested food materials enters into the ileum. The undigested food materials enters into the ileum. Just afterwards they pass into the colon, then into the rectum. Rectum is having 6 longitudinal papillae that makes the absorption of water. The longitudinal papillae of the rectum are helpful for the absorption of water. After absorbing water, the food material, that undigested foodstuffs, will go out. Here we said the digestion and as well as absorption. Digestion, after the absorption of the digested foodstuffs, the remaining food materials are going through the ileum, then to the colon, and finally to the rectum. The rectum, in the rectum, the food materials are the undigested food materials. We are going to absorb the water, and the left out, the undigested foodstuffs are going to be eliminated as fecal matter through the alimentary canal. Now let's move to the digestive glands of the cockroach. There are basically 3 digestive glands: hepatic caecae, salivary glands, and the glandular cells of the mesenteron. Hepatic caecae, as we get located the hepatic caecae between the gizzard and ventriculus. Between the gizzard and ventriculus, we observed that particular hepatic CK. As I said earlier, the hepatic CK are going to open into the ventriculus. Believe it to be, they are going to secrete an enzyme called amylase, helpful for the digestion of carbohydrates. Salivary glands. A pair of salivary glands are present here. Location, either ventrolateral sides of the crop, either sides of the crop, opens out as efferent salivary duct, opens into hypopharynx. Let's see the salivary glands here. Salivary glands, these are the salivary glands actually. That salivary gland, each salivary gland contain two lobes. These two are the lobes of each salivary gland. Each salivary gland contain two lobes. Okay. And each lobe of the salivary gland is having acini. The smaller lobules of the salivary gland are said to be acini. Then the two lobes of salivary gland are going to open into common salivary duct on right side, common salivary duct on left side. And the two right and left common salivary ducts of salivary gland are going to open into a single duct. We say median salivary duct. Median salivary duct. Let me show here. Median salivary duct. The ductules of both the lobes opens into the common salivary duct of the right and left sides, and then it opens into the median salivary duct. This is the story of salivary gland. The another one is salivary receptacles, reservoir, even we say. These salivary receptacles are helpful for the storage of saliva. They are not going to be in the production, just they store saliva. The two salivary receptacles are helpful to store the saliva, which opens into common salivary receptacular duct. Common salivary receptacular duct. The receptacular duct or reservoir duct opens into the common receptacular duct. The common receptacular duct and the median salivary duct. Common receptacular duct is from salivary receptacles, and the median salivary duct is from salivary gland. Both going to open into efferent salivary duct, which efferent salivary duct opens at the base of hypopharynx. Let me show in detail that the total salivary gland, I am coming from hypopharynx. This is the hypopharynx, and this is the efferent salivary duct. This is hypopharynx, and this is efferent salivary duct. Below the efferent salivary duct, which we can see the ducts coming from salivary receptacle. This is salivary receptacle, and I said this is common salivary receptacular duct. So I'll take one more color here to show the salivary gland, that through the violet, which I am going to the median salivary duct. So this is median salivary duct. Median salivary duct and common salivary receptacular duct opens into efferent salivary duct, that opens into hypopharynx. Then I will show the salivary gland also. It's just like a fruit. Above on the fruit, two leaves. Leaves we can compare with salivary gland, and the fruit is a salivary receptacle. So these are the salivary glands, which they open into median salivary duct, and salivary receptacle opens into common salivary receptacular duct. Both opens into efferent salivary duct, which it opens into hypopharynx. Yes, this is the story of salivary glands. The salivary receptacles and salivary gland. Ductules of the both the lobes of salivary gland opens into the common salivary duct, and salivary receptacles of right and left side opens into common receptacular duct. Then common receptacular duct and median salivary duct both opens into the efferent salivary duct, which that is going to be at the base of hypopharynx. You may know that salivary receptacle stores saliva. During normal times, that particular salivary gland secreted saliva will come into the receptacles for the storage. At the time of requirement, both are going to secrete saliva through hypopharynx. Yes, hepatic CK, as I said earlier, like between the gizzard and the ventriculus, that hepatic CK are present, which that midgut CK even we say they are 6 to 8 finger-like projections, secretive cells and absorptive cells which they contain, believed to be secrete the enzymes which digest the carbohydrates, what do you say, amylase enzyme, and the glandular cells of mesenteron, which major enzymes are going to secreted from here itself. Glandular cells of mesenteron or ventriculus, like maltase, invertase, protease, and lipase. Let's move to the physiology of digestion here with the help of these digestive glands. Cockroach is an omnivorous animal. That means eats all types of food material. It locates the food with the help of olfactory sensilla of antennae, labial pulp, maxillary pulp even for the smell. Food is seized by forelegs and labrum, labium. Biting and chewing is possible by mandibles. They hold the food during chewing with the help of galea, laciniae, glossae, paraglossae. Galea, laciniae from first maxilla. Glossae and paraglossae collectively called ligula. It is from labium. Prevent the food from falling down is by labrum and labium. Labrum, labium helpful to prevent the food from falling down during chewing of foodstuffs. Food is mixed with saliva during mastication. Most of the food digested in the crop. How is it possible most of the food? Because major enzymes are present in the ventriculus itself. Sometimes it may happen like so. The enzymes of the ventriculus get back into the crop and most of the food materials may digest because of that. Enzymes of the ventriculus are regurgitated into the crop. Digestive juices passes from the midgut to the crop, makes the possibility most of the food materials may get digested itself in the crop. Now let us see the digestion. Any kind of organism, the food stuff, whatever it may be, the food materials are basically three: carbohydrate, proteins and fats. Come to the carbohydrate digestion, starches are there. With the help of salivary amylase enzyme, that starches are converted into disaccharides like maltose and sucrose. Maltose digested as glucose molecules in the presence of an enzyme called maltase. Sucrose digested as glucose and fructose in the presence of an enzyme called sucrase or invertase. And the digestion of proteins is possible by proteases, digested in the form of amino acids. Digestion of lipids possible by lipases, digestion in the form of fatty acids and glycerol. Cellulose digested as glucose by enzyme called cellulase, secreted by the microorganisms present in the hindgut. Then absorption, after the digestion, absorption like glucose, fructose, galactose, amino acid, fatty acid, glycerol, all these are the digested foodstuffs are going to be absorbed in the absorptive part of ventriculus. And we know that, as you have seen, rectal papillae of the rectum are going to absorb the water. The remaining undigested and excretory materials are eliminated as a dry pellets through the anus. Finally, that digestion itself, up to the crop and gizzard, we said basically they are helpful for intake and storage of food material and grinding, and major portion of the digestion by ventriculus anterior part secrete enzymes, posterior part for absorption, whereas ileum receive that undigested foodstuffs, colon and rectum longitudinal rectal papillae helpful for the absorption of water, and remaining materials are getting eliminated. So all this is about cockroach digestive system. Thank you.